What's up guys? This is Frankie, the Pimp King 14. Welcome back to yet another video on my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about a new technique I just learned known as the floor cone edit, or also known as the double edit. I'll be talking about the optimal controller settings to perform this technique, and I'll give you guys a tutorial on how I learned it. But before I get to that, I want to take this time and thank you all for all the love and support. We managed to reach 37 subscribers since my birthday, which means we're 13 subscribers away from having our tournament. If you're new here and you like my content, make sure to like and subscribe to join me on my Fortnite progress. Also, make sure to stay tuned till the end of the video for information on the tournament. This is a technique that is often used by the pros since it's perfect to use when you have an enemy on the high ground and you plan on ramping up on them. The cone in the floor offers you 2 layers of protection from angles above you, but some cons are that it does waste extra materials and it is a bit difficult to perform. In order to perform this technique on console, you must have certain controller settings. The most important one is to have your switch mode and edit in different buttons. Initially, default controller settings will have circle as the switch mode/edit. This makes the game process editing slower as it only lets you edit one piece at a time. As you can see here, it only lets me edit the floor and I won't be able to edit the cone unless I select it. So what I've done to solve this is that I've set circle as the edit button and L3 as the switch mode. Now, I've selected these controller binds because I have 2 paddles on the back of my controller and it is what I feel more comfortable with. Of course, you're free to select any buttons you prefer, the point is to have the switch mode and edit in different buttons. As you can see, here I can now edit any piece that my crosshair lands on. Another important setting I should mention is the edit hold time. Since you have placed the edit button by itself, it's not necessary to have any delay. It's better to set it down to 0.1 seconds to edit immediately. Also, if you have set any button to L3, I recommend you have the sprint by default enabled. And you should also unbound the sprint/auto sprint from L3 on the edit controls. Otherwise, you might end up pressing it by accident when you're editing and it'll cancel your auto sprint. And you really don't want to get stuck walking in the middle of a fight. I also recommend for you to enable confirm on release, as I feel it is a bit faster confirming your edits. Since you're switching up your controller binds, getting used to them is going to be the most difficult part from learning this technique. Trust me, it won't be easy. And if you're like me and your brain just can't seem to process different controller settings, you might want to jump into creative and practice until you're used to it. I don't recommend you to jump straight into arena. Since I switched my switch mode to L3, I was having a lot of trouble getting used to switching to my builds. So what I did to practice was the shotgun floor technique. It took me a while, but after a lot of practice, I finally got used to it. Another problem I had with this bind is that when I was put under pressure, sometimes I would pull out my builds by accident. But I guess I just have to learn to be more gentle with L3. So now, let me teach you all how I learned it. Of course, you want to start by ramping up and placing a cone and a floor above you. Then you want to edit the floor followed by the cone as you're running up. The key is timing. I start editing the floor about the beginning of the ramp and I edit the cone as I'm about to reach the top of the ramp. I recommend you start slow to get a feel for the muscle memory. You want to practice this over and over in creative until you can do it flawlessly. Some tips that might help you is the crosshair position. You want to have the crosshair positioned slightly above the top edge of the ramp. This ensures you to always place the builds in the correct spot. It also helps you select the correct piece for your edits and helps you with your timing. You may also try lengthening your travel time on the ramp. You can walk diagonally to give you a bit more time to edit, or you can simply add an additional ramp like I do. Some issues that I had to deal with when learning this technique was that I kept editing the floor to a preset. This would happen because I would somehow place the floor under my ramp without noticing, and I would edit the floor without placing it. It was annoying having to reset the floor every other time, but I managed to prevent it once I paid attention to my crosshair. This was more than likely happening because I was placing the floor too early. I recommend you place the cone before the floor to help prevent this from happening. Another issue I had was that I would sometimes get stuck on the cone. This was simply due to bad timing. Once I got a bit better at my timing, this wouldn't happen that frequently. Ultimately, it comes down to your controller settings, timing, crosshair position, and muscle memory. As you guys may know, I'll be hosting a Fortnite tournament once we reach 50 subscribers. In order for you to be eligible for this tournament, you just need to be a subscriber and like this video. Take a screenshot and tag me on these social medias at ThePimpKing14 to show me that you did it. So that concludes our video for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure to stay tuned for upcoming videos, and remember to stay safe and practice social distancing.